Sunflower County is actually doing. And I think for us to really understand, when I say Sunflower County, I'm from Indianola. But when you look at Sunflower County, you have 3 other school districts that is inside of that county. We have a large county that we actually work with. So it's not just Indianola that we are working with. We are working with Sunflower County, so you know that that is larger than just one district, one school district. We have 3 school districts inside of that. And we have actually been working with conflict resolution. We have been in those schools. We have been from the middle school all the way in Indianola, all the way up to rural. And we have done conflict resolution training along with Southern ECHO. We have gotten them to buy into the notion that rather than putting a child out of school, let us see what really caused that problem to see if we can keep those children in school. The principals have been very, very receptive to us coming in and helping out. But not only did we do, or are we doing conflict resolution with the students, we are also doing conflict resolution with the teachers and principals in those schools as well. And also to the point of giving students that when things began to happen, rather than going to a principal, you can go to that student and get advice from that student as well that may get something done through the principals and all. We're looking at going back for our 2nd and 3rd level of the conflict resolution, because there are 3 levels to conflict resolution. We have done the first one. We are looking and working and going back with the 2nd and the 3rd level of conflict resolution. And I can say that I think that it is extremely good of what we have now in Indianola, because we have a conservator. This is our 3rd conservator that we're actually working with. And this conservator that we have now is a community person that actually value community as well as parents, and is opening that process up to what their duties and responsibilities are, making sure that community is engaged and community is part of the decision making there. I think that the conservator that we actually have now is actually doing that. And one of the things that we have actually talked about, and that is around our uniform policy, getting ideas, getting other concerns of what the teachers are actually saying, also to the point of how parents feel and the students as well about these uniform policies. Because so many times when those policies was made, that the school board made, it was that if a child was out of uniform, that child would go home. We know that we have alternative education, and in that alternative education, you can actually send that child to alternative school, or you can put that child in a special room. And even so, to the point, let that child call the parent and say, I need my belt this morning. So therefore, we are working on not putting those students out of school, but a way in which to keep those students in school. And also, we found out, and I think that it has been extremely successful, when we look at our discipline, the majority of our discipline will come from our children with special needs. And they will send those children home. They will send those children to the alternative school, because really the teachers didn't actually know what that child's disability was. So rather than dealing with it, the easier thing for me to do is just send them out of the classroom. So we have actually made progress in that area to say, no, you cannot put that child out, because when a child with special needs is being sent home, according to what and why that child is still is being sent home, that homework has to follow that child. That you still have to provide that child with the services that he or she needs. And they did not want to do that because they didn't want to deal with the paperwork. So now, rather than sending them home, let someone come in and actually talk with them, or even to the point, you're going to have to put that child back in the classroom and all. Because when you look at those set of guidelines for a regular child and policy for a regular child and a special ed child, we totally different. Because the ones with the SPED is really going to be on that federal state. But knowing that the regular policy has to be done, but that child with special need has a little bit more leverage, so that we can keep them in school. And so even so, to that point, we've also talked about, rather than sending that child home, and helping principals and teachers to understand, you're not doing anything when you send a child home but playing into that child needs or what they want. They want to go home anyway. So the thing to do is to keep them in school rather than sending them home, even if they have to go to the alternative school for a day or so. Keep that child in school so that that child can continue to get his or her learning that they need. So we have actually worked on those, and I think, as I said earlier, with the conservator that we actually have in our community, we're actually looking for better, effective communication between our conservator and our community, and he is actually making a big difference in that in those areas.